One of the greatest American rock and roll bands is throwing in the towel. Yet another one bites the dust as Aerosmith have retired from touring due to Steven Tyler, their lead singer, having a vocal injury that has now ended his career. You know, there are people out there who have said that Aerosmith is the greatest American rock band. And if you look at their level of influence from the 70s, and then they sort of flame out in the 70s, they come back in the 80s, sort of riding the coattails of Run DMC and almost accidentally creating the first rap rock shit. They ride that back to prominence. From there, they had a run in the 80s that was just big time. Dude Looks Like a Lady, Jamie Got a Gun, Love in an Elevator. You could go on and on. There were a shit ton of Aerosmith hits all through the 80s into the 90s, and you just simply cannot deny the greatness of Aerosmith. So on that level, it does suck. You know, it's one more all-time great band that's just not out there anymore. The band released a statement saying it was 1970 when a spark of inspiration became Aerosmith. Thanks to you, our Blue Army, that spark caught flame and has been burning for over 5 decades. Some of you have been with us since the beginning, and all of you are the reason we made rock and roll history. It has been the honor of our lives to have our music become part of yours in every club, on every massive tour, and at moments grand and private, you have given us a place in the soundtrack of your lives. We've always wanted to blow your minds when performing. As you know, Steven's voice is an instrument like no other. He has spent months tirelessly working on his voice to get where it was before his injury. We've seen him struggling despite having the best medical team by his side. Sadly, it's clear that a full recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. We have made a heartbreaking and difficult but necessary decision as a band of brothers to retire from the touring stage. We are grateful beyond words for everyone who was pumped to get on the road with us one last time. Grateful to our expert crew, our incredible team, and the thousands of talented people who've made our historic runs possible. A final thank you to you, the best fans on planet Earth. Play our music loud now and always. Dream on. You've made our dreams come true. So a beautiful sentiment there. There are millions and millions of people out there who have been affected by this band, who have gone out to see this band. And really, I started off saying one of the greatest American bands of all time, really one of the greatest rock and roll bands, period. If you look at their numbers, if you look at just the volume of hits and hit albums, and when they say that their career has spanned 5 decades, that's no shit. It's not like they had, a handful of hits in the first 10 years that they rode for the rest of their career. It's not the case. Aerosmith had hits in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early aughts, and it was around there that they pretty much fell off and were not able to make hits anymore. From there, what people probably remember Aerosmith from most these days is Steven Tyler being on American Idol. And that's really a sad thing because Steven Tyler, in my estimation, is one of the creepiest. He's on my list of like top 10 just like total pieces of shit in rock music. Oddly enough, once again, I can separate the artist from the art. I do like a lot of Aerosmith songs. There's a lot of them that I enjoy, but Steven Tyler himself, if you've ever listened to him speak, he has a sliminess about him that people for some reason find charming. Maybe it's because he's famous that we tend to just let famous people kind of do whatever the fuck they want. From the very first time I ever heard this dude speak, he came off I don't want to say a predator because all the connotations that come with that. Although there are some things you could point to. During his run on American Idol, he was such a fucking creep that it became like a weekly thing that Jimmy Kimmel would keep track of the Steven Tyler creepy leer of the week or some shit like that. And Steven Tyler at that point is in his 60s.
Steven Tyler added a little extra something to American Idol every week. You know, he'd zero in on the female contestants. He'd stare at them like a hungry cheetah stalking a gazelle, and I miss that.
Hi, what's your name?
Holly.
And how old are you?
I'm 17.
I mean, he was regularly inappropriate, and I'm not like a clutch at my pearls type dude.
You're so cute and precious.
Thank you.
I guess Steven Tyler got sued for writing about the time that he essentially adopted a teenager so he could fuck her and take her across state lines and not get arrested. That girl grew up, and Steven Tyler wrote something about her in his memoir where he just really was like, in a very creepy fashion, remembering his time fucking this 16-year-old. And that woman, was kind of like, hey, dude, I'm a fucking adult now, so could you not talk about that weird time in my life? The wording, I gotta look it up. It was, okay, here it is. This is the way he wrote this. A lot of these celebrities, they have a ghostwriter. They essentially interview you and they write your life story from that interview. The way this is written, it really does give you a peek into how this dude speaks, and it's just fucking, it makes you want to vomit. Here's him bragging about fucking a 16-year-old when he was, 26. Quote, with my bad self being 26 and she barely old enough to drive and sexy as hell, I just fell madly in love with her. She was a cute, skinny little tomboy dressed up as Little Bo Peep. She was my heart's desire, my partner in crimes of passion.
Read all about this in this month's issue of Things That Make Me Vomit.
He wanted to take her on the road with him. And of course you can't do that because you can't fuck minors from state to state. That's called sex trafficking. So he got her parents to sign over essentially guardianship. So he was now her guardian. And he took her on the road. And as she said, he fucked her a bunch. I think he knocked her up multiple times. Of course, none of those children were ever born.
And his words to me were that I had to have the abortion right now, or the doctors wouldn't do it because I was so far along. I just kept saying no until he placed the decision between him and the baby.
But yeah, the way he talks about it, he says a skinny little tomboy. When in a girl's life do we tend to refer to her as being a tomboy? You know what I'm saying? Think about that. That's normally when they're like little kids, when they're like 12 years old, when they're, that's what he thought was hot, was that she was so young looking. And it's just disgusting. So anyways, I fucking did a story about that. And in our comments, we had somebody talk about their own experience with Steven Tyler. Here, I'll pull this up because I don't know if I ever actually read these. Okay, this was sent directly to us from Bell in Hell. Thank you for telling it like it is and not putting her down. He's stronger than he looks for a skinny little guy. If he put her name in his book, then she should be given the book sales. He assaulted me twice in front of people, and I was lucky enough to get away and run away, which of course I responded to like, holy shit, I'm sorry that happened to you, whatever. I'm glad you made it out, all that good stuff. And she says, I enjoyed listening to your show as a victim of that man when I was 15. He just grabbed me on a street in broad daylight, didn't even speak to me especially nicely, and suddenly threw me into a phone booth and molested me while people watched. I wanted to die, and when I'm on my deathbed, if someone utters his name, I'm going to die humiliated, which sounds very heavy to me. So that's all I'm saying. The guy, he's an all-time great lead singer. He is really the epitome of what a lot of the rock star mythos is all about. But at the same time, he's done some incredibly gross shit. I remember I believe it was in his book, he made some comment about him and his guitarist got got crabs from the same four-way or something. Yeah, here it is from his memoir. And I quote, once again, this is in Tyler's own words, "I remember one night on the road when Joe and I were sharing a bed with two girls and woke up in the morning with a seafood blue plate special, crabs for everybody. Like it's a big funny fucking thing to get crabs. That's fucking disgusting, dude."
I mean, I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
Imagine what this dude's life is like if getting crabs has been like normal to him. It's been normalized in his life. LOL, me and my buddy got crabs from fucking the same woman. That's gross.
Controversial, I know.
And not only is he not ashamed, he's writing about it with fucking exclamation points and jokes and all that shit.
Rapist here.
Here he writes about his first sexual experience at age 7 with French twins. He says, "They took me home one day and we had a you show me yours, I'll show you mine session. Isn't that great? You know, I look at their pictures now and think to myself, how much sweeter does it get? And isn't it crazy that my wife Teresa was a twin and my girlfriend now is a twin?" Okay, let's break that statement down. When you were 7, some twins flashed you the beaver and you in turn showed them your ween. Okay, but when you say, "I look at their pictures now," why do you have pictures of these 7-year-old twins? And why do you look at it and say, "Oh man, it doesn't get any sweeter than that"? So I want to put it out there. I want to at the same time salute Aerosmith for being one of the greatest rock bands of all fucking time. And at the same time say thank God that Steven Tyler is not going to be out on the road anymore. He's lucky his ass never went to jail. He should fucking just go somewhere and sit the fuck down, enjoy the fruits of his labor, try to just, really soak in how fucking lucky you've been. But anyways, sorry about the tangent. We'll move on.